Right, okay, I'm going to show you how to do a basic observation on the family app. So I'm going to log in to my own family app. So I'm going to pick a child from the Crown. Obviously, I've got access to all three settings, so I'm just going to show you a basic one for any child at the Crown. So I'm going to go into all rooms and I'm going to choose a child from the 3 to 5 room. So, for instance, we'll do Cooper. So I'm going to click on Cooper's face. You've probably all done this for now. Excuse my private messages. So I'm going to click on Cooper's face and then I'm going to choose his profile. So this takes me to Cooper's individual page. So I'm going to select more. And then I'm going to select journey. So you can see here the coloured blocks that have appeared in his learning and development sections underneath his face. Basically, that's because we've brought the child up to date and up to speed, which means all of the previous tracking data that we've always done in paper has now been submitted for Cooper. So you can see that each section has now got a coloured block in there, so that's giving us some data to move forward. I'm not going to go too much into that because there's things that we need to tell you about that anyway. So I'm going to click on new in the top right hand corner and I'm going to click on observation. So it's already entitled Cooper Addy, so that's going to go straight to his profile, and then I'm going to just write something really basic so we're not here all day. Cooper was playing in the sand with his friend and counted 5 stones. There we go. So once I've added that information into there, then I need to think about the links that are going to come from that. So what we're looking for on these observations now is something that's going to be more detailed and more in depth. The longer your observation and the time that you spend observing the child, the more next steps that you're going to get out of that. And the observation now needs to include, a lot of people are starting to do it, but the moments in there where you taught. So for instance, I would write, Cooper was playing in the sand with his friends, he counted 5 stones. I modelled counting 10 stones and we counted them together. So that's what I actually did in that moment to teach Cooper how to count to 10. Obviously he's not going to learn to do that now, but that's something that I'm going to look for as a next step and what I am going to teach him to do over the next half term, for instance. So you can see underneath that is next steps. Some people are starting to include these, but they must be included every time. So I'm going to choose the blue eye, which is going to give me the EYFS links, and I'm just going to choose maths and number. So here you can see the age band at 30 to 50, the statements underneath, and also emerging, developing and secure. Now you must choose one of these. If you choose secure, you are saying that that child can count confidently to 5 or to 10 or any of the statements, and that then removes that statement for the future. So you will never be able to choose that again until you are confident that that child can confidently do it. Something concrete like zipping up a coat, mounting steps, and that's a concrete thing. You can then choose secure. Up until that point, you must choose emerging, so they are starting to do it, or developing, and those options can be chosen as many times as you wish until you feel then that they are secure. So I'm just going to put emerging, and we're going to choose accounting objective. So let's have a look. We will just go for uses some number names accurately in play. So I know that Cooper can count to 5, so I'm going to mark that off there. So I'm going to click done. So that's put my link in there. Then a characteristics of effective learning. So let's have a think. Active learning, and we've got some. Let's have a look under enable environments. So I'm just going to choose that one for now. So as your observations are long enough, then you will obviously pick more links, and we would encourage you to pick as many links as you can. Under this one, I'd be able to look for a PSED link as well. As you can see at the bottom on the EYFS, because he's playing with his friend. So here we go. Making relationships. So he's starting to show an interest in other people's play, and that is emerging because he's just started to do that. So there you go. So now we've got our 2 links in there. One characteristic of effective learning, and in the next steps then we're going to add the next step taken from the links, but it doesn't need to be word for word the statement that you've highlighted. So I know that Cooper now needs to begin to recognise and count numerals to 10. So we're going to begin to count and recognise numbers to 10. And that's what I'm going to teach Cooper to do over the next few weeks. I'm going to put that onto my planning, and then I'm going to put activities out that are going to allow me to work with Cooper to model counting to 10. And then obviously at some point in the future, I'm going to look to observe Cooper counting to 10. At that point, then we are going to send that for review. And it's gone. So that is going to come to either your room leader, a manager in the building, and we're going to look through that. So I'm going to leave that observation there. What I do want to say, once you've observed and done all of that and set that next step, over the next few weeks, you're going to look for opportunities to complete that cycle. So you're going to look for Cooper counting to 10. From the things that you've put out, from the teaching that you've done, you want to see Cooper counting to 10. So you're going to make a small observation again. So you're going to go onto new. You're going to go onto observation, and you're going to add a photograph in there. And you're going to write evidence to support next step. Counting to 10. Full stop. And in there, evidence to support counting to 10. See next steps from spring 1. And then I'd like to see a little photograph in there of Cooper counting to 10. Then you send and review, and that is going to complete the cycle for that next step for Cooper. So we're going to press done, send for review, and that will again come to the staff member, but that then will go into his profile to say that you've set that next step at the beginning of the half term, you've taught it, you've played with him, you've watched him, you've observed him, and now you're going to record him actually achieving that next step. It doesn't need to be a long, detailed observation at that point. You just need to snapshot him achieving what you've set out to do in your planning. So that is how to do a basic observation on family.